Oh, hi there. Thanks for coming. I have a question for you. Does the devil remind us to do good? You know, like a cool breeze reminds us to put on a jacket? Or is the devil the three guys who jump us and take our warm jacket? Comment your thoughts below.
But it's sensational.
Sing your heart out.
Get mad! Feel bad!
Be happy.
You have the right to remain silent.
Shut up!
Anything you say will be used against you. Against you. Against you. Against you.
That's the true reality.
I love talking shit. You know? Most people shit post, but me, I shit speak. You learn a lot from shit talking, you know? Because you get people going, you know, and they spill info. Wallflowers get plucked. Poison flowers are revered. You know? When you talk shit, you venograph your circle of people. Who is a snitch, you know? By the looks on their faces, by the looks on their faces and their sensitive wording. Imagine buying a book that says "For Dummies" on it. What are you, fucking stupid? You know, that should be the ad. Hey, you stupid? Buy this book for idiots today. Aren't all books for dummies? You know, you read it, then you're that much less of a dummy. Books for dummies is like food for the hungry. Who else is it for? So I saw this ad. Turn your house into a 7-unit apartment and get a rebate from the government. You know, and you live in one of the units and share the rest with folks who eat your pets. You know, and China. You know, and not for the pet eating, but for the living in closets, you know. People are sick. They want grown adults to live in bachelor pads, you know? Your kitchen, living room, bedroom is 1 10 by 10 room. Well, it's better than living on the street. It's so sick. Slap my knee. It's sick. Montreal, though, is amazing. Every apartment has at least 2 fucking balconies because that city loves its people. Yeah, and Ontario would split every one of those fucking apartments in half and change and keep the same price. What do you need 2 fucking balconies for? That's a little greedy. If you know, you know. Ottawa is a sick, ugly place, you know what I mean? A people-hating town. That should not represent or control fucking Canada, The city's beautiful. The people in charge, a dump. I'm sorry if I didn't interview you and said I was going to. The interviews make me too emotional. I cried for 2 hours after finishing them. After the last one, I cried 3 hours. Yeah, I think I would have to use an entire Kleenex box wiping my tears. So I'm just going to grow up a bit first, and I'll get back to you. So I invented an idea or product, an idea for a product to help men with their porno addiction. So check this out. As we all know, jerking off is gay. It's simple math. A man's hand making a man come equals gay. Doesn't matter which man's hand it is. So herein lies the problem. Men aren't addicted to seeing women in the nude. Those women are simply a gateway to a man's hand. Think of it like looking through a little window at a lady while your twin brother jacks you off. Anyways, so I don't have a name for my invention, but I'll describe it, and maybe you can help me out. Comment below if you think of a cool name for my invention. Basically, it's a machine that you put your dick in when you're looking at a nude woman through a tiny window, and the machine sucks you off. Anyways, I figured that would be less gay than getting jacked off by your twin brother. Your identical twin. Again, if you think of a name, let me know. It's long and black and looks kind of like a flashlight. I mean, it's basically a black dildo that sucks you off. Damn it, scratch this invention. It's actually somehow gayer. Is eating your own hand cannibalism? Or is it only cannibalism if you eat another guy's hand? That's that. So now that we are all gay, take a look in the mirror, my boy. It's you. It's all you. It's almost like the ultimate form of narcissism, you know?
Eating the hand that feeds you.
Yeah.
Feed me.
Yeah, fucking the hand that feeds you. And it's a guy's hand. Which there's nothing wrong with, but admit it. Come out. Some of the worst things in history have been because people didn't come out, you know? Those damn secret gays. So I found out the other day that people from India are reborn as various objects and animals. Hey, give me a hit of whatever they're smoking. And I'll come back as a fucking attack helicopter. I mean, that's like my worst nightmare that it's not recording, but at the same time, after every time I'm done the podcast, I'm like, I should just do that again because it'll be better and I remember what's coming and I don't have to be like, is eating, like trying to read my fucking handwriting. What's up with Judas? Who is your Judas? I feel like that should be the name of this fucking episode. You know? Who is your fucking Judas? People love saying the Bible is all lies, but witches being burnt is provable history. Most likely, all of history is fan fiction, you know. And most philosophy is rambling, you know, of a highly educated lunatic. Every crazy person succeeds with a proper liberal arts education. Meanwhile, all hobos are geniuses, you know, and the homeless spiritual people, right? Again, give me a hit of whatever fucking India's smoking. Don't you love that? That's the one thing I love about India. They're like, our crazy and homeless are fucking seers. I love that. You know what I mean? Give me a hit of that fucking India Kush. I wonder if weed's legal in India. You'd think as vegetarians, you know? They're like, oh fuck. They're like, that vegetable dough is from the devil.
They just drink the river water and trip out.
That's true. That is true. I wonder what's in there.
All the drugs.
Speaking of which, what's your favorite food? Mine's free food. And you know, they actually have places that serve free food. They exist. And I don't mean soup kitchens. You know? One time, my friends and I were in Montreal just standing around and planning our night. And a guy walks up to us and asks my pal, "Can I have a bite of your pizza?" Can I have a bite of your pizza? Random stranger, you know. He said no. You know, I mean, I said no. But you can have some sugar. You know, and I directed my pal to kiss the man on the lips. The man smiled and giggled and truly enjoyed my pal's pizza-covered lips. My friend, on the other hand, died of AIDS. Right there on Côte de Neige Road. Montreal's amazing. It speaks to my soul, my artist soul. You know, I almost said that like a Jamaican. I was like, it speaks to my soul. Like I said, they have places that serve you free food in Montreal. Free food. That's not the homeless shelter. You know, Ottawa would never. Ottawa would serve you the free food and then make you pay for it on the way out. You know, my cousin and I went one day to the free food place. And, you know, you bring your own fucking Tupperware, whatever. And everything's nicely cooked. They have rice and other things. And over in the corner, there was a guy, you know, and he was writing a poem, a tiny poem on a tiny piece of paper with tiny lettering. That's what I love. You know, that's what I love. You know, that's what I call richness. You know, it feeds the soul and brightens the spirit to see people doing their own thing and functioning. People are always like, yeah, just let them do their own thing. Yes, but not if they're not functioning at all. And that's what's great about Montreal. There's a lot of people doing their own thing and still functional to some degree, right?
You're inventing a new ASMR.
I'm just trying to annoy these fucking cockroaches. Hi, cockroaches. I always see turkeys walking up and down the road. You know, I live in the mountains, and I always say I could definitely take one of those out. You know, I tell Yannicka, you know, if we had to, you know, if we were starving, I would take one out. You know, would I? Well, I figured it would be something like this. You know, I'd be in the bushes, right? And I'd be waiting. I might have to wait there a few fucking days. But there I'd be in the bushes waiting for these fucking turkeys to show. And then I'd spot one. Oh, I'd get excited. I'd say, we're eating tonight, sweetheart. You know, yeah, I could be asleep. And so then I go towards the turkey, but I go slowly. And it goes and flies away a bit. Sly. So what I do is I go through the bush down the road in the way it's going, and I cut out in front of it. You know, I cut it off. Who's the bird prey now? So I come out of the bushes, and there it is. And, you know, I'm all confident because I've been talking shit about killing this sucker for so long, you know. But instantly all my confidence dissipates whenever, you know, I see him arise and grow to 7 feet and go, I go, oh, this is going to be fun. And I run towards the turkey, right? And then I attack. I swing. But when I hit, the hand hits the turkey, but, oh, what? It's feathers. Suddenly I'm right here, turkey. And I push him off. And I think, oh, fuck, this isn't going to work. He's going to run away. He's not going out. He's on the attack now. Jumps on my back. Grab his neck. Pull it straight. Then his feet. Throw him back. I do it too. And then he goes. And I go. And he goes. And then we're this close to each other's faces going. I grab him and he grabs him. We fall on the ground. I'm gonna fucking hit you! You're mine! And I bite into his fucking neck. Fuck you! You cocksucking! And I'm so fucking worked up, I just feast upon the face full of blood, you know? And Yannicka goes, and she fucking leaves me. But I defeated the turkey. I have the cocksucker's guts on my hand. All right. Call me Freak Show. That's what Yannicka dawned me, you know. If I was a wrestler, you know, Freak Show. That's who I'd be, you know. And it's because what makes me a freak show is what they don't see coming. Because there I am, you know, just in a schoolboy uniform. Very nice. Very nice. And it's just like, to the stage, freak show. I run out, but very nice. I go into the ring. Very nice. I go into the ring. Hello, Logan Paul. Very nice. And there I am. A nice schoolboy uniform. Very nice. Wow, this guy doesn't seem too exciting. He's supposed to be the best new wrestler. So Logan Paul into the rings. Starts coming to me. Motherfucker! That's why they call me Freak Show, bitch. Cats are better than dogs. You know? You ever see a stray dog? That thing is covered with dirt. Has organ failure, you know, from starving. Is blind now. Just in permanent shock. You know, just doesn't make it. That's what happens to a fucking stray dog, right? Even if you save it, He's a disaster now, you know, shakes at the sound of a car driving by, just pees everywhere. Stray cats are laughing. I'm free, baby. Clean as a whistle, you know what I mean? Just fucking up all the other weak alley cats after years of strengthening itself inside. You know? People are like, but dogs are my best friend. Hey, try putting your best friend on the street. See what happens. You know, any animal that needs people to survive isn't better. You can put a cat out in fucking July, 40 below. It still finds a way, you know? The dog just fucking dies. I love dogs, but never trust a I hate cat person. They die when you put them out. Every religion has truth. It's just buried beneath 1,000 years of marketing. So I flipped on the tube to see what was on, you know. And first ad I see, dying for sex on Disney. What? Did Snow White get fucking AIDS? Hey, Disney, cool it, okay? Don't have Snow White and dying for sex on the same fucking thing. Leave dying for sex for Tubi. You know, or Crave or something horrific. The horror channel! Sick. You know, people have become creatively retarded. I was going to watch it and, you know, I don't know, pull out my trusty sex machine. But instead, I watched 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, 1954. What a gem. Not a boring moment. Pure entertainment. I tried to transcend capitalism, but my third eye got monetized. I opened my third eye and immediately got an ad for chakra crystals, only $19.99. Apparently enlightenment comes with a shipping fee now. Even Nirvana's got a brand ambassador. We built a society so advanced, people cry when Wi-Fi drops, but not when nations do. I watched a guy have a full emotional breakdown because his Netflix buffered for 12 seconds. Meanwhile, 3 countries are on fire and he just scrolled past it like it was a fucking weather report. Modern empathy is bandwidth dependent. Every commercial is a lullaby sung by your captor. They sing about happiness while quietly tightening the cage bars, you know? Buy this perfume and you'll feel loved. Until it fades and you're just alone and smell vaguely floral. Consumerism is just Stockholm Syndrome with a jingle. The revolution won't be televised. It'll be sold back to us in 30-second TikToks. You know, some kid in a balaclava will do a backflip while demanding prison abolition. Abolition? What is that word?
Abolition.
Abolition? Sounds like fucking something that doesn't mean I'm fucking cutting this fucking one out. Time is money. So poverty must be a form of time travel. When you're broke, you're constantly in the future. Worrying, planning, surviving. You don't live in the moment. Your rent is 29.99 APR. Meanwhile, the rich guy buys nostalgia and calls it aesthetic. Like I know what any of that means. Religion without doubt is just ego with a halo. I always say that. Faith without questions is just cosplay for control freaks, right? If your God can't handle being questioned, maybe it's not God. Maybe it's a middle manager. And if you're fighting wars for him, he should be able to fight his own damn battles. Talking directly to Muslims. We gave corporations personhood, and now people are acting like brands. We're not human anymore, we're content. Your soul isn't sacred, it's a feature. You don't exist unless you're being marketed. We invented borders, then died for them. Imaginary lines drawn by men who never intended to bleed. And somehow we kill each other over them. They came etched in stone from the Big Bang. We die for maps. Let that sink in. Every election is choosing which puppet has the softer fist. You get the red glove or the blue glove, but the hand stays the same. They shake hands on TV and shake you down off camera. Hope is sold by the yard during campaign season. Spiritual enlightenment, the moment you realize your phone has more control over your attention than your own soul. You sit down to meditate and suddenly remember, you need to order socks. Enlightenment is 5 swipes away. Your spirit animal is probably a notification bell. But the algorithm won't let you get there. War is just a business model with explosions. It's not about borders or freedom. It's about inventory turnover. The bombs aren't aimed at enemies. They're aimed at Q4 profits. Again, do I know what Q4 is as a high school dropout? No. I'm going to have to fire the mother who wrote this for me. Every soldier is just a data point on an earning call. God damn, I have to learn more about stuff. The news is just horror movies with better lighting. They scare you, sell you pills, then tell you to sleep tight. Coming up next, your family might be in danger. After this ad for antidepressants. It's not journalism, it's trauma monetization. Children are born free and slowly sedated by Disney debt and standardized tests. They come out singing, dancing, and loving everything. By 18, they know how to take orders, question nothing, and fear failure like death itself. It's not education. It's domestication. Meditation taught me to be present, and capitalism punished me for it. I took a breath, slowed down, and missed 3 deadlines. How relevant. My boss told me you're fired. As long as it improves productivity. I'm fucking evil. Just like Kanye. Inner peace is cool, but can it hit metrics? There's so many words in here I've never used before. I had to tell this fellow writing these things for me. I don't know things about words to do with business stuff. Democracy is voting between two logos and hoping one cares. You get to pick between Pepsi and Diet Pepsi. Both still rot your fucking insides, but we cheer. We wear the stickers. We pretend it's a choice. It's not democracy. It's branding with ballots. Fucking cockroaches. Your identity is not your job title. But don't tell HR that. You're not productivity. You're not a productivity unit. You are not your quarterly performance. But tell that to the guy who introduces himself as senior data synergist. They don't own your soul, but they definitely lease your self-worth. I guess so. I would just punch the guy in the face. Like, I don't know. He's not leasing anything off of my ass. You know what I mean? I'll fucking grab his ass. Woo! What? I smoke weed to expand my mind and realize my country's borders are imaginary. The land doesn't know it's divided. It just exists. The trees don't speak English or French. They just grow. Borders are lines drawn by men with no imagination. Consumerism, the act of filling a spiritual hole with plastic. We replaced prayer with online shopping, and now worship comes free. And now worship comes with free shipping. We replaced prayer with online shopping, and now worship comes with free shipping. Happiness isn't a state. It's a limited time offer. And still we wonder why we feel so empty in a world so full of stuff. The Matrix isn't a movie. It's an onboarding video. Wake up, eat, work, scroll, sleep, repeat. You're not a rebel. You're just really good at charging your phone. I told them I'm not a rebel. You don't need a red pill. You need a union. Yeah, but look, unions don't fucking work anymore. So don't take my word for it. I'm not depressed. I'm just paying attention. Once you stop numbing yourself, you realize this whole system is a scream in a smiley face. They call it a disorder when you can't pretend everything's fine. Maybe the sanest response to this world is breaking down. Have you ever met Hempy the Clown? You ever hear someone laugh so hard they forget where they are just for a second? That's Hempy's favorite sound in the world. Oh god darn, he chases it like it's a butterfly with fireworks in its wings. Hempy the Clown, he isn't just a clown. He's a walking weather system. Joy rolls in behind him like thunder. Loud, weird, and somehow healing. And yeah, sure, he trips over his own shoes, spills invisible water on real carpets. And hands someone a rubber banana like it's a sacred gift. But underneath all that, he's carrying his heart out in the open like it's free candy on Halloween. People laugh at him. And some of them never quite go back to the same old sadness again. Now I know some of you are still afraid of clowns. Still think they're creepy. Pointless. But Hempy doesn't wear his paint to hide. He wears it to reveal. Because sometimes the only way to talk about pain is with a big red nose, and a squeaky horn that says, "Hey, I see you." There's real beauty in choosing to love the world, even when the world barely blinks at you. That's what Hempy does. He shows up too early, too loud, and just in time. And brings balloon animals shaped like forgiveness. Laughter shaped like grace. And he never charges. Hempy believes deeply that laughter is rebellion. That silliness is resistance. That joy is sacred. I see him kneel down in hospital rooms, whispering dung jokes to already dead people. Like he's delivering communion in the form of a banana cream pie. I watch him hold the hands of kids too sick to laugh and somehow make them laugh anyways, or else he'll stick a needle in their side. Not because he's denying the pain, but because he's dancing with it. I asked him once, "Why do we keep doing this?" And he says, without even blinking, "Because when the world looks ugly, someone has to remind it it's still allowed to dance." So Hempy dances, badly, gloriously. He dances through grief, through broken birthdays and long Tuesdays. He dances even when there's no music. And somehow, we still hear it. Before every show, he says something, a quiet little mantra. It's not for the crowd. It's for his soul. And if you'll let me, I want to say it now with you. So if you know it, please say it with me. As I stumble through this life, help me to create more laughter than tears. Dispense more hope than despair. Leave more cheer than gloom. Never let me become so indifferent that I will fail to see the wonder in the eyes of a child or the twinkle in the eyes of the aged. Never let me forget that my total effort is to cheer people. Never let me forget that. Not even for a moment. But please, let me be the one that helps them forget the unpleasantness, for even just a moment. And in my final moment, may I hear you whisper, "You made my people smile. You made me smile." So please remember this. Hempy the Clown isn't just a man in makeup. He's a sermon in squeaky shoes. A hug in suspenders. A laugh that sticks to your ribs. And if you ever feel too sad to smile, think of Hempy. And honk once, real soft, for the love he's still pouring into this world. Thanks for listening. Now, go love the world like a fool in big shoes. That's what Hempy does. What's the deal with manga? So you read it backwards? But not all the way backwards? Like you open the book and you're supposed to read it backwards, but it still starts at the top of the page in the same... Hey, if you're going to go backwards, go all the way in 5, 4, 3, 2. Thanks for tuning in. Goddamn, so much fun.
Somebody got me. Sensational.
Sing your heart out.
Get mad! Mad!
Be happy.
You have the right to remain silent.
Shut up!
Anything you say will be used against you. Against you. Against you. Against you.
That's the true reality.
I feel like I'm really getting the hang of this podcasting thing. What? Just trying to have a little fun before I die.
What's something people don't know about you?
The only thing people don't know about me are things that I don't know about myself.
Where do you like to think?
In my head.
I saw that.
I like to think anywhere my head is.
Alright, survival situation. What would you do if you're stuck in the woods, in the snow, for 3 days? What's the first thing you do?
Start tracking the turkey. So, but on a more survivalist note, I was actually lost when I was younger in the bush for several days. And what I did to survive was all the wrong things, but I had the intuition to just keep walking. So as long as you keep walking, you won't freeze to death, right? So pick a point in the sky, find a river and start following it, because all rivers lead somewhere, you know? But what I would do if I were actually, say, lost, is I would just light the forest on fire, because then the fire helicopters and trucks come. That's the kamikaze last resort. You know, all these other people are like, I wrote SOS in the snow, and I started a fire and I waved the branch of a plane. I'm burning down Gatineau Park.
Give us another 6-word story.
Give me that gun now, sucker.
You really do understand the essence of the 6-word story. It's a 6-word story that tells 1,000,000 words, and you do it.
It's because I do everything in 3, so I just do it twice. Slap my knee. Oh, god darn. The true reality. Gotcha.
How do you approach leadership? How would you teach someone anything?
You don't want to be a leader. That's how you fucking approach it. You always want to be a leader that doesn't want to be a leader, but does it because there's no one else who can do it. If you're a kind of person that's like, I want to be generally involved in leadership, you probably just want to control people. So you need to first have leadership over your own existence and be so very sure that no one's leading you. So no one's, you know, you actually have discerned all the things in your own mind. Because if anyone's leading you, you are not a leader.
What does the world look like in 20 years?
Well, it's no longer flat. In 20 years, they found a way to blow it up. So the world's blown up and looks exactly how they say it does.
Zombie apocalypse. What's your weapon of choice? Are you a Negan or are you a Morgan? What are you going for?
Yeah, I'm Morgan Dexter's sister, and I blast those suckers with a gat. I feel like the stick is the better weapon.
Really?
Yeah, because the sword gets stuck in the skull, and you try to pull it out, and then the zombies all jump on you. The stick, you can push them back, knock their legs out. It's long. You want a long thing to keep them back, and then you got a short side piece in case they get past. But when you just have a sword, you swing it really hard, and it gets stuck in a guy's fucking spine. You can't pull that out, and they're on you.
Now, is it all about the weapon or is it about the protective gear? To me, they never protect themselves. I'd be wrapping myself in duct tape or something.
I feel like the protective gear, sort of like in hockey, would become a hindrance. And it's just like...
I just die.
Well, yeah, you'd be so... It's like the safer you make yourself, the more easier you're dragged down, too, or the less, like, movable you are. Your best bet is to be so very agile and to position yourself in places where normal people can't walk to.
But picture this. You're like a mummy wrapped in duct tape.
Okay.
Even if you get taken over, they can't claw at you.
Well, here's the thing. You would be amazed what someone who feels no pain is capable of clawing through.
Like a plate glass window.
Like a normal person would try biting you 6 times and give up. They're going to bite till their face crumbles and keep going. Basically, the rule is you never, it's like tag. You don't want to be touched. So it's better keeping that in mind and never even feel psychologically in the back of your head like you're safe. So it's because if you just think, if I get touched once I die, then you're way more likely to try for that not to happen. But if you're like, I'll go right in there with the duct tape armor, one just goes like, and bites your fucking eyeball.
Have you ever given a bad first impression?
Probably more than not. It's hard to think of because people don't tell me to my face generally what they think. But by the fact that I don't get another call from them the next week, I figure maybe I've ruined something. Yeah, I made lots of bad first impressions, you know. Just having white skin.
If you were a comic book villain, where would your lair be?
Up my ass and around the fucking corner.
Oh.
If I was a supervillain, where would my lair be? Well, if I was a supervillain, my lair would just be out in plain sight because I would have fucking killed all the superheroes very quickly. They're always tying them up and then they go, all right, and they leave. And the superheroes like, pop. You know what I mean? It's like that Austin Powers scene where they like hook them up and it's like the sharks with laser beams, you know? And the guy's like, we couldn't get sharks. He's like, you couldn't get sharks, you know? And then he's like, what did you get? And then it's like something like fucking sea bass with lasers on their, with laser beams on their head. And then the number 2 is like, let's just kill them though. And he's like, that is not how we do it. And they run away. Me, I would kill them. So I would just be in a house as a supervillain living a totally normal life.
So if you actually did see a ghost, what would you do?
Shake my hand. That's how I would know if it was a ghost, you know? Because as soon as it touched me, I would turn to a ghost. Yeah, exactly. Dead but alive.
Yeah, so you know the Salem witch trials?
Oh, yeah.
When you said that this week, I actually thought, I don't actually know anything about it. Like, I know what it is. But then I wasn't sure what happened, actually.
What
And
happened?
when you look it up,
Yeah.
the first thing, so apparently 30 people were found guilty during this time of mass hysteria.
What do you mean, people?
They say people.
Really?
Because apparently 19 people were provably executed by hanging, and 5 of those people were men. I didn't know that men died during the Salem witch trials.
You think they were cross-dressers?
And
So you're saying some men were witches?
I see, that's the interesting thing is in the documentation it doesn't always precise witchcraft. So when you look at primary sources, when you try to find out who is talking about what happened,
Yeah.
all you find is accounts from Puritan ministers who traveled to Salem to write what was happening. But what's interesting is the mass hysteria that was executing all these people and some men, accusing them of witchcraft, was caused by Puritanism. So the only accounts we have are from other Puritan ministers that went there and were there. And then, even better, many of the accounts were admittedly reworked and rewrote after the fact. Some things were taken out. There's iterations where a man wrote the account and then his son worked on it. And there's just different levels. So really, finding a primary source is almost impossible.
Yeah, so like I said, basically there's no proof that anyone was actually ever burned at the stake for being a witch.
Or that it was really that crazy. I mean, 30 people is a lot of people.
Yeah, they weren't
But if you
necessarily
have
innocent.
ministers and people being Puritanism, that's really the crux of it.
Interesting.
And then just killing people and trying them. And all the investigation afterwards essentially just said a lot of these people were quote-unquote innocent. Right? But still, the mass hysteria just driven by Puritanism. And then only accounts that we have are Puritan ministers.
Do you think they were just political opponents? Like, what were they?
Because it's like, men died. What do you mean? That's the first thing.
And, like, I would understand if they said, like, facilitating, like they held the witch's broom while she got onto it or something like that. But very interesting. What were witches, then?
Yeah.
I feel like that should be the next episode. What were witches? Were they bitches? Were they cunts? Were they whores? Were they fucking whoremongers? Or were they simply just political opponents? I don't know. Oh, you're still here? Thanks for tuning in this week. It's really been a joy this past half year. You know, we're coming close to the end of the season, which is awesome. You know, I finished it. I completed the episodes, and I don't want to speak too soon. You know, I could get a house dropped on me. You know, a witch in the Wizard of Oz. But I think we have 4 more episodes after this. Thank you for sticking around this long, and please stick around for the remaining episodes, and get ready for the next season of the True Reality. It's going to be literally exciting, literally entertaining, and literally a surprise you do not see coming.